Hey guys, my name is Allie. I am a forager and an environmental educator based in Staten Island, New York City. Yes, this is New York City. It is the city's greenest borough. We have miles and miles of hiking trails, and today I'm going to be taking you on a 10-mile hike from one side of the island to the other. It's mostly through green space. I'm going to be showing you my route, and we're going to be finding some wild edible plants and cool things along the way. But first, I want to show you how I packed for a hike like this, so let me do that. So, you don't need many things to go on a 10-mile hike. It's not as bad as it sounds, but what I've got some shades, I've got some sun cover because I will be in the sun for just a little bit. A bandana, it's always good to have this if you have like something crawling on you or you need to wipe something off of your skin, so I wrap it right around my neck. I got them high white socks. We do have ticks that contain Lyme disease on Staten Island, although this has been a super dry year. Not a lot of ticks, but I like to stay as covered as possible in the bottom half of my body. Now, I got my Osprey backpack. This video it could be sponsored by Osprey. Hit me up, Glam Gardener NYC at gmail.com. So I got my backpack and I have a bladder in this backpack. What a bladder is it is a thing for holding water. This has 3 liters of water in it. That's more than enough for a 10-mile hike. I used to live in the desert and this was super good for all day. Now, I have some paper towel. Ain't gonna be bathrooms in the forest, baby, so you know what I'm gonna use this for. And I have my scissors wrapped in that. Like I said, we're gonna be foraging. I'm gonna be showing you some wild edible plants along the way. So that's to snip anything fun in case I need it. Battery pack for the phone charger, a knife in case we find anything that we want to cut open, like some wild edible fruit. It is September and you know what season it is? It's pawpaw season, baby. So maybe we'll find a hillbilly mango, as they call it, cut it open and try it together. Okay, on the inside of this backpack, I just have some bags. Some plastic bags. Listen, we don't need fancy foraging baskets to get into foraging. Some leftover plastic bags to collect anything I find along the way, and some snacks, okay? Very lightly packed. Wrapping things in paper towel and tin foil. You want to keep as little weight on your body as possible when you're doing a long hike, okay? Let's get to it. I almost forgot. Okay. It's been a crazy hot summer this year. We got mosquitoes everywhere. So I'm going to be applying some supernatural bug balm directly to my skin and rubbing it in. Fun fact, I own a company called Glam Gardener NYC, and we make organic and wild harvested herbal products and all natural stuff like this, baby. So if you're interested in herbal teas, tinctures, bug balm, and fun stuff like that, glamgardenernyc.com. I also lead foraging tours in Staten Island, across the city, and maybe other places by the time you see this video. So if you want to learn how to eat wild edibles in green spaces with me as your guide, holla at the site. All right, now we're gonna get going. No more ads. Unless Osprey wants to sponsor me. Okay, I know we're not in nature yet, but my personal motto as a city-bound forager is that you can connect with nature no matter how urban your environment is. Now, there's some caveats to that. Not every neighborhood has a park, and that is wrong. Everyone should have access to green space. But I'm gonna have to walk about 1.5 miles-ish, 2 miles to get to the park that is gonna start our hike. So that's why I have my sun cover, my visor, and my shades, because I ain't trying to get burnt in the face or anything like that. And yeah, so I'll be walking on the street for about 1.5 miles until you get in the woods. So I'm gonna just keep walking and walking, and I'll check in with you along the way. Okay, folks, so I started in the neighborhood of Travis, Staten Island, along Victory Boulevard, and I just wanted to show you something along the way that not many people know about, even folks that live here. It's the Greenbelt Native Plant Center, and the Greenbelt Native Plant Center is a New York City Parks Department run thingy-majiggy, and they grow all native plants for development projects like across the city. It's really cool. I did a tour of the facility once. I'm going to show you it as best as I can. But for anyone that doesn't know, native plants are plants that are from here. They've been from here for like thousands of years before all of us from other parts of the world showed up here and brought our plants with us, which are usually called invasive plants. Although invasive plants really mean that they are outcompeting native plants and generally have the connotation that they are harming the environment, and not all plants that aren't from here harm the environment. Anyway, let me show you what it looks like. It's super dope. It's super beautiful. It's just like these hoop houses and greenhouses of all native plants growing. They have a really nice staff. It's super beautiful in there. But yeah, don't try to break into the Greenbelt Native Plant Center, baby. They got protection. I'm just standing on this guardrail looking like a crazy person. This person's probably staring at me. What else is new? Anyway, and just for some foraging fun, I'm going to show you some plants that are growing in between the cracks of the sidewalk. This right here is mugwort. This is not a native plant. It's like an invasive plant trying to break into the facility. But although I would never harvest mugwort or any plant for consumption on the side of the road like this, mugwort is very medicinal. It's used as a culinary herb. It kind of tastes like bay leaf, rosemary, lavender, and you know, we could talk a little bit about how to identify it. Its leaf looks a bit like a flame shape. On the back of the leaf, boop, it is like a whitish silver. Now, if you rub the leaf in between your fingers and smell it, you're gonna smell something, okay? So that really gives it away. I always say, you can forget how something looks, but you're never gonna forget the smell or the taste of your grandma's lasagna. So always use your smell if you can with wild plants. There's more identification specs to mugwort, but today ain't about mugwort. It's about getting outside in nature. So let's keep it rocking, keep it popping. Staten Island problems and probably problems everywhere. For folks who are watching this video, the sidewalk ends. Not great for walkability. For those that don't know, not complaining, listen, take the good with the bad. But it would be nice if there were continuous sidewalks. In Staten Island, there are some roads that it would be really helpful to have sidewalks. You know, walkability is great for a community. It's proven to be great for local businesses, the economy, and also for encouraging people to get outside and get moving. Yeah, would love if we had a sidewalk over there. And it's funny because there's even a bus stop. So a tad dangerous, if you ask me. Just wanted to add that in there for folks that don't know much about our city. There's a little thing, Jesus. I have arrived at my first destination. It is Willowbrook Park, and these are my hiking guides. Just kidding, they are literally like the monarchy of Staten Island. Okay, so Willowbrook Park, it is a beautiful park in Staten Island. Excuse me, guys. And it's like a lake, a big old lake, and it has hiking trails. And yeah, there's a turtle. These hiking trails like connect to other parks in Staten Island, the Greenbelt, and it will take me all the way to the beach actually. So before, I never told you like how I know how to do a hike like this. Well, I've actually never done this one. Someone told me that they did it once, and through all my experience in hiking in Staten Island and a little bit of maps, shout out to Apple Maps, we're just gonna figure it out today. I know my destination, so yeah, I'm gonna take a little break. Just did 2 miles, and then we're gonna get started. Maybe I'll show you some things while I'm here. So if you've ever been to a Staten Island park, you know that there is geese poop everywhere, and these are the culprits. So if you want to put in a complaint, you could leave it in the comments. I will tell them directly. Sometimes I'm so surprised they're letting me get this close. I'm like 5 feet away from this one. They usually hiss at you, and it's like they're real like nasty. But listen, don't mess with the geese. How close will you let me get? Say hello. Say hello to YouTube. Hi. So I'm gonna drink a smoothie while I talk to you about Staten Island and my hike. So a lot of people make fun of Staten Island, reasonably so. We could take it, we could take a joke. But yeah, I think it's a nice place to live actually. Some things that we can forage on our way, which I'm hoping to find, are spicebush and spicebush berries, which are in season. Pawpaws, as I mentioned earlier. Sassafras. Sassafras is the original root beer tree. It's delish. Mushrooms, chicken of the wood season, puffballs, resinous polypore. I want to see some cool birds, some deer, maybe a fox. We have tons of biodiversity here. I'm really excited. So far, I have recorded over 200 wild edible plants on Staten Island alone. And there's hundreds more, thousands more probably. Something I'm always thinking about with foraging and hiking, which is unfortunate, is that it's not always accessible to different mobility abilities and disabilities. And I just wanted to point out that this park, Willowbrook, has a parking lot and a paved pathway along the whole lake. So it's really great for folks with those different abilities. If you wanted to check it out, that just came to my mind. It was on my heart to tell y'all. All right, we're gonna get started soon. I've been sitting too long, I'm getting bored. Okay folks, we're doing it. So for anyone that's gonna try to do this hike, bathrooms are behind me. I'm in the parking lot and I'm entering the trail that is right next to the parking lot. Shall we enter Staten Island Greenbelt White Trail? Just so you see it, this is what it looks like. Okay, we are entering. And as you can see, look how shaded and beautiful this forest is. So we have tons of shaded, moist forests in Staten Island. That's like our ecology for the most part, although we do have like a bit of a diverse, beautiful, many different ecosystems. So I won't need my hat or my shades anymore. And I'm just gonna enjoy. Look how gorgeous it is out here. How would you know we're in New York City, folks? And we're gonna come up on a wild edible plant. Right here is a plant that I told you I wanted to find. Reaching for a leaf. This is my buddy Sassafras. Let me give you the Sassafras 1, 2, 3. So first off, speaking of 1, 2, 3, we have leaves with 3 lobes. Those indentations, they're called lobes, like earlobes, okay? So Sassafras is extremely unique. It will have leaves growing on it that have 3 lobes. 1 lobe, you see that? It's just a single lobe, and 2 lobes, like a little mitten, okay? I'm gonna show you some other identification features before we keep it pushing. So Sassafras is a skinny tree. Do you see how skinny this is? It's very bendy, okay? If you can see, I'm like pulling the branch and it's bending, it's not breaking. Of course, don't pull too hard so that I can reach the leaves without really harming the tree. I'm just gonna pull a few off. And you know, this is the original root beer tree. They used to make root beer out of its roots. I like to dry these leaves and put them into tea. In the South, they've used this to thicken gumbo, and it makes it a fun trailside nibble to just kind of chew on the stem. A fun wild native tree to get familiar with, and If you chew on the leaves, you'll notice that they bring a mucilaginous, like gooey, cooling sensation to your mouth. So it tastes a little lemony, not root beery really, and it's just a great wild edible tree to get familiar with, okay? Let's keep it moving. I swear, when you're hiking in the woods, a few miles goes by so quickly, and when you're hiking on the street, it could just feel like forever, just for a half a mile, because people are honking at you. It's loud, it's stressful, it's concrete. The forest floor, it feels so good on your feet, and that's why I say 10 miles, it sounds like a lot, but it doesn't have to be that bad at all, and you could totally take your time. This is fun. This is a freshly fallen tree, and it's a great teaching opportunity. One, I could tell it's freshly fallen because look, all the vines growing on it are still fresh, and this is pretty crazy because all these vines are actually poison ivy, and this would be probably pretty dangerous if someone that wasn't, like, you know, aware of that were to try to just hop over this tree. So let me use this as an opportunity to show you guys how to identify poison ivy. So if you didn't know any better, you would probably think that these were just leaves growing on the tree, but they're not. They're leaves growing on a vine that's growing up the tree. And I have an eye for that, but I'm gonna show you so that you have an eye for that if you're ever in this situation. Look very closely, folks. You see that? That's a vine growing up the tree. And the leaves are growing off of little branches coming up the vine. So I'm going to show you the little riddle I teach kids to remember poison ivy every time. First, we all know this one, right? Leaves of 3, let it be. So 1, 2, 3. Each poison ivy leaf pattern cluster will have leaves of 3, okay? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, okay? So that's identification feature number 1. Number 2, don't be a dope and don't touch the hairy rope. So that refers to the vine that is growing up the tree or the fence that poison ivy is growing on. As I mentioned, poison ivy is a vine. It is not a tree. It is not a shrub. It is not a grass. You're not going to find it growing in the middle of a field. You're going to find it growing up things on a vine, okay? Vines like to attach to other things. And I actually didn't learn this until, you know, later on in my nature-loving journey, but poison ivy does have berries, okay? White, green berries. It won't always have berries. This is a mature poison ivy. It's also the time of the year for it. But some other things that we're looking for with poison ivy are, I'm holding it back to show you, but it has a sheen to the leaves, okay? That is the oil. Poison ivy has an oil that grows in the leaves, and that oil is actually what irritates the skin, okay? So if you do touch poison ivy, don't freak out. You're gonna go home or get to a place where you can wash your hands really good. Use dish soap or like a mechanic's oil soap that you can really scrub into your skin. Wash your skin about 4 times. Go all the way up your arm. A lot of people, when they get poison ivy, it shows up on the back of their arms because they didn't wash up their arm high enough and they didn't wash enough time. So the residual oil just kind of went up to that area of the arm. So be careful. Don't freak out though. It's not everywhere. Like I said, it's going to be a vine growing up things, but I'm in a bit of a predicament about how to get past this trail because when it does get on your clothes, it kind of stays on there. So I'm going to do a nice hop. You want to do a hop with me? All right, let's see how athletic I am. I made it. I made it. Don't ever let them tell you that you can't do it. Wild Forage Plant Part 2, and just in time for this amazing lighting, we have right here another wild tree called a black birch. Have you ever heard of it? So the reason that I knew it was a black birch is because it has these horizontal lines growing on it, which are called lenticels, okay? A few different trees growing in our area have these lenticels One is birches and then another is cherry trees, but they have different smells and tastes. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is take a little twig, Al, off of the tree and show you how to tell if it's a black birch. But first, here's the tree. You get lucky when the little twigs are short enough for you to grab. You see how high up they are? It's a very tall tree and it's super amazing. The reason why I love black birch is because I call it the minty tree. It tastes and smells super minty. So the way I'm gonna figure out if this is a black birch or a cherry tree is I'm going to take a small twig, a short little twig. It should snap off very easily off of the tree or branch. And you're gonna use your fingernail to scratch off the outer bark. It will reveal like a lighter green color, just like that. Okay. And what you're gonna do is smell it. And this smells like wintergreen. It is so delicious smelling. And you know what you can use this for is a natural toothbrush or a natural toothpick to freshen your breath. It's also really good for relieving minor headaches and so many other things. So what I like to do when I find these in the woods is just chew on them, use it to kind of clean out my teeth. It's antibacterial, and the black birch is one of the original flavors for wintergreen. That's a cool little fun fact there. Let me show you how else to identify it before we move on. We are looking for leaves on the black birch, okay, that are serrated around the edges. Do you see that? It's serrated, like a serrated bread knife that you cut your bread with at home. And of course, oh, the lighting. Aside from the lenticels that I showed you earlier, it is a grayish color, okay? Not quite black, but gray. So kiss your birch trees. Thank you, birch. And let's move on. Let's keep hiking. Sis, I was not expecting to find this, but listen, we spoke to the universe and she answered. We got some chicken of the woods. That is some nice fresh chicken. Oh, I'm going to show you how I know that it's chicken, but the orange color gives it away. This fell off the tree, so that is not something I would harvest to take home. Gosh dang, I'm so excited. Chicken of the woods. I'm just going to go ahead and pick this right off. Oh, it's nice and soft, okay? Ooh, we have some bugs in there, so it might be a little old. I'm gonna cut it open with my knife. It doesn't feel old, it's nice and soft. We have orange and yellow on top, yellow on bottom. It has pores, not gills, okay? Pores are little holes. They're kind of so small on this one, you can't see it. It's growing out of a tree, not out of the ground, and that is something that's really important about chicken. Let me grab my knife. So I got my knife right here and I'm gonna cut off the chicken so that we can see if it's too old to eat. A wee bit hard to do it with one hand, but oh, that feels nice and soft, okay? Old chicken of the woods, it's super woody, no pun intended, but this is so soft, you can feel it. That's good. I'm gonna take it home and make some chicken nuggies. I'm super stoked. I'm just gonna harvest a little bit more. Chicken of the woods is a great meat replacement. I was a vegan and vegetarian at one point. Those times are over, sorry vegans, but this makes a great like meat replacement. Let me put this knife down. And I like to like bread it up, put it in stir fries, and I'm super grateful for all this chicken. I didn't take everything, I left some there. You know, with mushroom foraging, it's a little controversial. You know, some folks will be like, don't harvest everything, but actually when you harvest just the fruiting body that's growing above the ground, you're not really hurting the mycelium, which is the roots of the mushroom, from growing next year, kinda. I mean, I'm not gonna go into all that right now, but I always like to leave a little behind for the critters, you know, for others wonder. There wasn't a lot here to begin with. So yeah, I'm super happy. Yay! Should I make a video on what I'm gonna do with this? Let me know. I cut off the super buggy parts of my mushroom, and those tend to be the parts with like little crevices in them where the bugs can kind of hide in, and that's also just tend to be the woodier part that grows near the tree, which you're not going to use that for cooking anyway.
So yeah, I don't want to traffic bugs around these forests. So yeah, that's all I did. It's pretty clean enough to put my bags and put my backpack, and yeah, I'm gonna keep it moving.
Okay, so I think I'm like 4 or 5 miles into my hike, and I just stumbled across a birch forest, but this time it is not black birch, it's white birch. And white birch is basically the same. We have the lenticels, horizontal lines, but it's white. And so when you see white birch, I always look for these mushrooms that are growing on them. They are called birch polypores, and I haven't seen these mushrooms in like 2 years. I'm really excited. I'm gonna go ahead and harvest one from the tree. Just grab it and twist. And these mushrooms, they're so effing adorable. They are like little marshmallows, and they're very medicinal. They're really great for like boosting the immune system and so many other things. You could also make a natural band-aid out of them, which I've seen other people do. I've never done it, so I can't show you. Oh, they're so good to kiss. They're literally so soft, like marshmallows. I adore them. I'm gonna just harvest a few, not too many, to make a little tea at home. There's also not that many growing, so I don't want to over harvest. Look at how perfect they are. They are so adorable. They're usually not this tiny, okay? They are usually bigger. We could see some old ones growing on the fallen birch trees on the ground. You could tell that this is old, okay, because it's black on the bottom. It has pores, not gills. It's growing on the tree. It also looks old, right? It's like a little degraded. When they're fresh and young, they are not going to be all cracked on top, and they're going to just be pure white on the bottom. I just harvested these two. I'll likely go home and just make a tea out of them and connect with the mushrooms. I'm really happy. The way I knew that these were birch polypore, again, beside from the identification features, is because they were growing on white birch. And so a really great way to get familiar with mushroom foraging is to know your trees. Okay, so I'm coming at a crossroads. I am leaving officially Willowbrook Park, and I will be crossing a street to enter the Staten Island Greenbelt White Trail on, I believe, Forest Hill Road. Lots of traffic. Will these Staten Islanders let me through? I don't know. Find out on the next episode. So anyone that wants to do this hike, this is Forest Hill Road. Up there at the light is Rockland Avenue. I'm not going to be able to cross this street likely for like 30 years. So I'll finish this video when we're all living the metaverse. And oh, just kidding. I'm going to be able to cross in 3, 2, 1. And now we are entering the Staten Island Greenbelt Trail. So they have these like wood things that help so that you don't have to walk directly in the mushy soil. Not sure if I'm going completely the right way, but we'll figure it out at some point. I'm still on the white trail. So I know the street is right there, and I believe I have to cross that street and get over into the Latourette golf course in order to get to my next destination, which is historic Richmond Town. I was totally on the right path. And what I have to do now is cross the street again. Thanks, nice Staten Islander. And I'm gonna get on this path right here, still on the Staten Island Greenbelt White Trail, Latourette Park. That's where I wanted to be. Look how gorgeous. The Latourette Park is actually connected to a golf course. And if I pass the golf course, I know I'm going the right way. Wish me luck. I am over 6 miles into my hike. I just sat down for a little rest and chill on the golf course. This is the Latourette Golf Course in Staten Island. It is, I think, kind of like the halfway point, hopefully. I think this should only be 10 miles. Maybe it'll be a little bit more. But my next stop is historic Richmond Town. I'm going to historic Richmond Town, so I just have to keep following this white trail, Greenbelt White Trail, and eventually I will turn left
and get to historic Richmond Town. And then after that, I will reach my final destination. Maybe I'll catch a sunset on the beach. Now we have to cross the street again, Forest Hill Road, Richmond Road. After being in the woods by myself for a few miles, it kind of feels nice to see some other people and be around some noise, not gonna lie. It's a little less muddy. And there's little side trails you can go to if you just wanted to pull up to Latourette. Look at the golfers, say what's up. This unassuming, amazing tree right behind me is one of my favorite wild edible trees. Let me show you all about it. This is a tree called spice bush. It's very easily identifiable right now because it's growing these red berries. They're green and red because they are green when they're not ripe, red when they're fully ripe. They taste like orange rind, but not in a gross way. They're delicious trailside nibble. They are really great for warming the body from the inside out. I actually use these spice bush berries in my fire cider for Glam Gardener NYC and have a spice bush cinnamon chai tea with these leaves. Also, what folks used to do before the car days is take a little twig of the spice bush and put it in their mouth to keep their mouth moist on long journeys. So if you see me walking around the forest like this, you know it's spice bush and you know why I'm doing it. Lastly, to identify spice bush, it's relatively easy. We're looking for a leaf that's simple, oval, and pointy. Its bark is brown, but it has like these white speckled dots on it. And it's a very skinny, short tree. So I can literally grab the tree with my hand. That's how skinny it is. And it's always short enough where you'll be able to grab it, okay? Oh, and remember the smell trick? If you rub the leaves with your hands and smell them, you'll smell that like spicy, citrusy aroma that penetrates like all parts of this tree. I found this. Looks like a viburnum to me, not spice bush, okay? It's growing in a cluster. The spice bush berries don't do that, so just keep in mind you gotta match up identification with multiple features of the plant. Okay, so at some point we transition from white to blue trail, and at some point we are going to have to turn left on the blue trail. Ooh, perfect timing. I think it is right here. So luckily this park is pretty well marked. Shout out to the parks department. And so yes, this is exactly where we're going. Blue to Richmond Town. So we're gonna turn left and we're going down here. I want to guess for about a mile, and we'll check in along the way. You know what's so funny? Like, I'm in the woods more than anyone else that I know, at least in Staten Island. No shade. If you're in the woods more, holla at me in the comments. And I've never been on this path before. It's so beautiful. Look. So unlike everywhere where we just were, this is like it has little sunny patches, and I guess I'm just gonna be walking from kind of like the mall area, Latourette, all the way down to historic Richmond Town. And yeah, it's cool when you decide to like explore your own hometown, just to enjoy a day off, you know? When you don't feel like driving a few hours out of the city, it's like you can actually have a good time. There's always something new to discover. So keep it positive, y'all. I'm just so amazed right now. This is gorgeous, and I've never been here before. It's just, it does not feel like we're in the city. And that's what I love. Look at the trees, they're so pretty. I'm really trying to get to the destination, I promise, but it would be hard to walk past goldenrod and not at least talk about it. So let's talk about it real quick. Goldenrod, again, is one of my favorite wild medicinal plants. Glam Gardener NYC does have a tea with goldenrod in it called Cleanse and Relief. Goldenrod's really great for fall allergies. Some people think that goldenrod is causing their fall allergies, but a lot of the time it's ragweed, which grows at the same time as goldenrod, and it's super easy to identify. It's these beautiful golden flowers, and it has leaves that kind of feel like a cat's tongue. They're very velcro-y. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna grab a goldenrod leaf and just kind of let it sit in my mouth to connect with the plant. It has a really interesting, mild taste that's hard to describe. It's great to make a tea out of. I like just kind of connecting with plants while I hike, and I'm lisping with the goldenrod in my mouth. It likes really sunny areas like wildflowers do. It blooms from like, I want to say August till November. It's an amazing plant. Guys, look, we're leaving Latourette Park and we are approaching a street. I have never done this trail, so I'm gonna try to figure out how to get to historic Richmond Town. Oh my God, it is mullein. Mullein is literally one of my faves. It's such a friendly, fuzzy, wild plant. It's used to like wane off of tobacco smoking. You could also drink it as a tea for lung health. And it's just so amazing. It's so fuzzy. I have another video about mullein, so I'll link that here and you can learn more. But gosh, I just wanted to show you her. I'm so shocked to see a mullein. Holy moly, that's more like it. That is a lot of mullein. Look at that. It's called Great Mullein for a reason, kids. We're in historic Richmond Town. Whoa, I'm getting tired. The sky's looking a little gray. I'm across. It says not to, I know. Hold your horses. I'm a grown adult. I can do what I want. And this is our second to last final destination. I'm gonna be walking through historic Richmond Town. Right now I'm on the street, and historic Richmond Town is basically this place in Staten Island, for those that don't know, that has like all these old historic houses that have been here for hundreds of years, and they have like live reenactments of like colonial people like showing you how to make like brooms and stuff, and I don't know, woodwork, and it's pretty cool. Check it out. Holy moly, is this what I think it is? Is it a gosh dang pawpaw? It is indeed, it's a pawpaw. Pawpaws are like the mangoes of the Northeast. They grow all across the USA. I have a video on pawpaws that gets into everything about how to identify it, what it tastes like, how to plant the seeds, but I am just gonna eat it right now because I'm so hungry, and I'm gonna keep it pushing and not talk about anything else about how to identify it. Watch the other video. You hear this? It is about to rain on me. So I want to get to my next destination. I have like 2.5 more miles. Let's eat it up. You don't eat the skin, but you take it off. And again, I just picked this up off the ground. When they're ready, they fall to the ground. Oh, it tastes like a cross between a banana and a mango. Thank you, pawpaw trees. Go watch my other video, folks. I'm gonna keep it pushing. Now that it's about to storm is actually a perfect time to stand underneath a pawpaw tree and wait for them to drop. But I don't want to be greedy and take all the fruit here. It is not my fruit to take. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave them and just encourage y'all to find a pawpaw tree or plant one by watching my other video. Okay, folks, I'm pretty happy about this. I am revealing my final destination, and that is Great Kills Beach. Like I said, I've never done this trail before. We're kind of like out of the woods right now, but I see that there is, on Google, like a green way to get to the beach. So I'm gonna figure that out, but for now, I'm taking the streets of Richmond Town to get there. Look at the birdies. They know that this storm is about to be real, so they are out of here. But me, I'm finishing this content till the end. I'm not out of here. I kind of messed up. On the maps, it looked like there was going to be a green space where I could walk to the beach, but it's a cemetery. Excuse you. And I ain't dead yet because I study my wild plants. But, so I'm just going to have to walk along Clark Street until we get to a green space with a few blocks. So yeah, it's urban hiking. Use the imagination.
I will say that walking less than a mile on the street versus walking the same amount in the woods, oh my gosh, it's like night and day. It's so much easier in the woods. I don't know what it is, but it is officially raining on me. And when I'm back in the woods, it will not be, because the trees are the nature's umbrella, and I don't even care. I'm determined to make it to the beach, and I'm almost back in a green space. Whew, I don't know what this is. I don't quite know exactly where I am, but my maps makes it look like this is gonna get me to my final destination. So I'm gonna take it and we're gonna say a little prayer. And we are going to closely follow maps. And the rain is not dripping on me, but foragers love rain, gardeners love rain, because that means more mushrooms, more happy plants. And this summer, woo, was it a drought? It was crazy. So definitely need the rain now more than ever. I ain't mad about it. So it looks like I'm back on the white trail, Staten Island Greenbelt white trail that I started on. Wondering if I could have taken this the whole way and not gotten on the blue, or what happened there. But if/when I do this again, I'm gonna double check on that. This is kind of spooky. I am low-key not feeling it, but I'm going to walk under the railroad. Highly not feeling it. So I'm gonna take you with me, as if you can do anything behind that screen, as if I wouldn't have had to survive to make this video. Woo! But this is the route. You have to go under the railroad. I did check the maps and it looks like this is the correct way. I bet lots of crazy stuff happens under here. God bless Great Hills, Staten Island. And ooh, I'm not feeling the energy down here. Get me back in the woods. Got it. Okay. Whew. I feel better. That was scary. But check it out. Spooky. Whoa. It's funny because when I first started like putting stuff out there about foraging and getting outdoors in Staten Island, I talked about how more people are scared to go in the woods for the reasons that I was just scared, than feel like encouraged to go in the woods. And you know, we've had some freakadeek things going on Staten Island having to do with the woods, and you know, won't go too much into that, but there are some good documentaries on it. And yeah, it's a total stigma. I get it. It is scary to travel alone in green spaces, but buddy up, get outside. And I don't know, what do you think about that? Is it scary to be outdoors alone in green spaces in the city, in, you know, raw nature? What do you think? I'm just curious to hear people's thoughts. It is really fun, and I guess a little dangerous, to be outside during a storm. All of the fruit and nuts are falling off of the tree because of the wind and the rain. And this right here is a black walnut. It is green. The husk is green. If I were to pull this apart with my hands right now, my hands would be stained brown like henna. It's crazy. But you can crack this open and there's a walnut inside. So I'm gonna take some home and do that when I get home. It's pretty easy to identify. It smells like a spa. It's very sweet, and the tree itself has very distinct leaves. So it's an easy one, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. Actually, let me show you a little bit about the identification before I move on. I don't want to stand under here too long because these walnuts are gonna crack me in the eye, but it has these compound leaflets, and they're long, very long. I want to say about 18 inches that whole leaf is. That whole thing is a leaf. Each individual leaf is called a leaflet, okay? It's a big tree, and the way that the walnuts grow on it looks like that. They're just hanging out. All right, moving on. It's raining.
Gosh, how grateful I am right now for these ultra waterproof cushioned trail running shoes that have gotten me so far. If only they sponsored this video and videos like this, I could go off about how amazing they are. But for now, I'll just say my feet feel great, folks. Ultra, you know where to find me. Oh, and this Vuori getup, it is so comfortable and flexible and is moving with every inch of my body. If only they sponsored this video and videos like it, could I go to lengths to tell you all the benefits of wearing an outfit like this. But I will say, when I was walking the streets, I did get honked out a few times. And I might have the Vuori to thank. Not gonna lie, this feels pretty long to get to the final destination. Not complaining, but we're seeing some familiar friends, some mugwort, goldenrod, and I'm getting an itchy feeling, and it is not poison ivy, that we are almost at the end. Okay, we are approaching a street. Another street. Gonna follow it just for a sec. Oh no, yeah. Forget this. I'm going back in the woods. We'll figure it out from here. Shout out to the white trail, really holding it down like almost this whole time. Bringing us to our destination, allowing us to explore our environment, allowing me to share this with all of you. Hope this encourages someone to do something other than comment something horrific, you know? But I'm sure it will. Do good things. Almost there. Hang tight. I'm liking what I see here on the ground. These may look like any old leaf on the ground, but this is the shape of a cottonwood tree. And these leaves fall pretty early, and that means that there's a cottonwood tree around. Cottonwood's really fun because they grow these resinous, delicious smelling buds like all the way at the end of winter, so it gives foragers like some happiness to finally get out and forage something after a cold winter. And you can make a salve out of them. They just smell so good. I have a short on it where you can learn. It was a piece of garbage. I thought it was a snake. Where you can learn a little bit about them, but I see something. We made it, folks. Look. This is the last street I'm gonna have to cross. I will take it in stride. We made it to Great Kills. Woo! Okay, kinda. I gotta walk down to get all the way to the beach, but this is the final destination. Great Kills, it is a National Park Service recreation area in Staten Island. It's a beach. They got boats. There was a whale that washed up on shore earlier this year. I have a short on it, and it was huge and stanky and really muscly. I got up really close to touch it. You could check out the short. I don't know how long this trail is gonna be to get all the way to the beach. Unfortunately, we got some rain. Well, not unfortunately, for better or for worse. So there won't be a sexy sunset, but maybe there'll be a rainbow by the time we get down there. And it'll be so magical that this gets like 1 million views, and then Osprey and Ultra and Vuori will maybe sponsor like the next video. We'll see. Guys, things just got hella real. This amazing wild edible. Oh my God. Oh, these are autumn olive berries. Let me grab some more. Guys, autumn olive berries are no joke. They are delicious, extremely abundant, and they're so important for me to talk
to you about them that I risked breaking the law, which I would never do, and reached over a fence that said not to reach over it to show you about them. So I'm just gonna eat one and then we'll get to work. Autumn olive berries are red speckled berries, okay? They are edible. They contain so many things in them that are amazing for you, like proanthocyanidins and other great compounds that are great for your body, vitamin C. They are like the Sour Patch Kids of the forest, and they grow on these autumn olive trees, which are technically invasive to our area. Look how many there are. There's like 1,000. Holy, 1,000 million. And they're so easy to identify, okay? So I'm gonna teach you that after I get my fix. So we're looking for leathery feeling leaves that are white on back, okay? This is a relatively short tree. It's kind of like a bush. And this time of year, September, early October is the season. There are so many berries. They're red and speckled, okay? Red and speckled. There are so many berries. They're blurry apparently. They're red and speckled. There aren't much in our area that kind of looks like them. They're tangy, so get to work, okay? Look, so many. I am so happy we found these. The reason why we didn't find it before, likely, just talking about ecosystems and stuff, is that autumn olive really likes the sun. So you could see, look, no shade, no shade. We were in like shaded forest the whole time, you know, so we wouldn't see something like autumn olive. And now that we're in the sun, we're not gonna see stuff like spice bush that likes the shade. So plants like to hang out in the areas that they like to hang out. And so we could kind of count on them to be in certain ecosystems, although some are less picky and there's always flexibility. Oh, so good. Anyway, I'm gonna keep walking to the beach. Guys, it's a gopher. Guys, we have located a gopher. Hello, Mr. Gopher. I really don't want to interrupt you. I know you're eating. I'm eating too, okay? I'm just gonna try to get, all right, goodbye. Goodbye. Man, 10.4 miles. I am so exhausted, but I see a trail to the beach, so let's go. And I see one of my favorite wild medicinal plants right here, and this is going to be the final one we talk about today. I think it's earned its stripes as the final. This is bayberry, and for those that know Glam Gardener NYC products, bayberry is in my Lavender Dreams tea. Okay, it's always going to be a wild harvested, ethically harvested bayberry, not next to a parking lot, but this is great for teaching purposes. Do you see these waxy purple berries right here? These have a wax on them that back in the day, they used to boil it down and make candles out of it. The berries themselves smell delicious. The leaves smell absolutely delicious and taste delicious. They taste like a black tea. It's so unique, and you're always gonna find bayberry growing in salty, loose soil like sand. So when you're near the beach, aka our final destination, you're gonna find her. So let's go on to that beach and celebrate. Bye, bayberry. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We made it. Not easily though. Didn't know this was here. But we're almost there. We made it to the beach. I'm so happy. Look at that. Look at that seagrass. Just looking picturesque. It is so peaceful here. There's like not another soul here. I feel like I love living in the city, but I love finding places where there's nobody. It's kind of like my thing. But before we're done for the day, I want to show you these like crazy creatures that are always on Great Kills Beach. These are horseshoe crabs. It's definitely not alive. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not, but yeah. Each not alive. And they like wash up all along the shore here. It's pretty crazy. There's some super big ones. Look how big they are. Whoa! I don't know much about horseshoe crabs, but I know something about their blood is like really valuable in the pharmaceutical space. I don't know. Not my space, but if you know more about that, then let us know in the comments. Well guys, that's really it from me. I had an amazing day, and I would be really happy if this video just encouraged you to get outside and explore your hometown, or it made you see my hometown differently, if you learned a thing or two. So if you enjoyed it and you want more long form videos like this, let me know. But either way, I had a great time. Nature rejuvenates me. I think it could bring us a lot of peace, and we shouldn't forget it no matter how modern or urban our worlds are. I'm Allie, Glam Gardener NYC on every platform. Subscribe to YouTube, follow on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I'll see you soon. Thank you so much.